I'm Ivy.
I'm Rachel, and we are Swords and Sapphics, a podcast all about representation, queer media, women with a capital W, and a little bit of nonsense.
So start sharpening your swords, sip your tea, and join us as we obsess over the wonderful beings that are women. Hello. What are we talking about today?
What are we talking about today? I can't remember.
We're gonna talk about games, video games that we play and
All
enjoy.
right.
I have a woman forgotten in history.
Tell us.
Today, I picked a name out of the hat, and the name is Mary Elizabeth Anderson. She was an American real estate developer, rancher, viticulturist, whatever that is. But most importantly, she was an inventor of the windshield wiper.
Mm.
On November 10, 1903, Anderson was granted her first patent for an automatic car window cleaning device controlled from the inside of the car called the windshield wiper. So her device consisted of a lever inside the vehicle that controlled a rubber blade on the outside of the windshield. The lever could be operated to cause the spring-loaded arm to move back and forth across the windshield. A counterweight was used to ensure contact between the wiper and the window. The device could be easily removed if desired after the winter was over. Similar devices had been made earlier, but Anderson was the first windshield clearing device to be effective. Her simple mechanism and basic design have remained much the same, but unlike today's windscreen wipers, Anderson could be removed when not needed. Here's the kicker. By 1913, the manufacturing business of cars had grown exponentially, and the windshield wipers were standard equipment. In 1922, Cadillac became the first car manufacturer to adopt them as standard equipment. However, when she got the patent in 1903, the patent was only for 17 years. So she got no profit because her patent expired by 1920. However, my dearest, if you will ever be the type of man that will be like, we wouldn't have cars without men, we wouldn't have streets without men, bullshit. So there you go.
Yeah. We all know the truth.
Yes.
Beautiful. I must say I'm very much enjoying these little bits of education.
Good. I'm glad. Well, before we get into gaming, what are you reading these days?
Well, I finally went back to the second book in Killing Eve. I decided to make it more fun by getting out my sticky tabs and my fine liner. So I've been doing that. But I won't talk much about that because we'll have an episode on that if we ever finish reading it. What else? I read Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia. It was another one of my favorites this year.
God.
I've been in the mood for lots of different genres at the minute. Like me and you, we usually stick to either romance or fantasy, I found.
Yeah.
But it's every so often I just get the need to read something a bit different, and this was that. I don't know what media in general has got against mushrooms or what it's trying to like do with mushrooms, but I'm quite afraid. I'm still eating mushrooms, but
I'm against them, so I'm in there. I'm in
you're
there.
safe. You're
Yeah.
safe. But this was first we had The Last of Us, with the infection for mushrooms, and this one I can't really even explain where the mushrooms sat in the storyline. There was a lot to this story. It had a little bit of, I guess it must be called paranormal in it, involving the mushrooms. So it was to be honest, I could not tell you what happened in the last few chapters, but all I know was it was very good. And it did have a little bit of romance in it for those who like romance. And it's set in 1950s Mexico, and basically the main character is called to visit her cousin because she's like hallucinating and seeing things, and she's not very mentally well, but the family are all a bit strange, and she kind of ends up in the middle of a very, very strange, creepy situation. It's very good.
Good.
Yeah. I also read The Final Act of Jonas Black by Rebecca Crunden,
Mm-hmm.
which is another short story. And this one is a bit fantasy-ish. It's about a shapeshifter kind of hiding in the mortal world as a magician, and he changes his faces a lot because he's running from something. So it was very short. I kind of wish it was longer. But it was very good again. Rebecca always does a lot of versatile things with her short stories. And just while we're on the subject of books, the Indie Author Spring Festival is now over, but if you missed it, a lot of the books that we mentioned last month now, are on KU, and there's more coming your way from Hayley Anderson as well in the summer. So it's always a good time to support indie authors. And you can still check out interviews and posts about all the good books that we've had this month. Don't know where I am. What about you? What have you been reading?
I'm very embarrassed to say that I wasn't much, because my brain just wants to write these days. So I did read A Pirate's Life for Tea by Rebecca Thorne, which is the second book after Can't Spell Treason Without Tea. I said it without making it longer.
Amazing.
Amazing. Thank you very much. Which is cozy fantasy. It's Suffolk. Now it was double Suffolk. It had even more puns and jokes. I got "that's what she said" joke, and I was just like, I teared up, guys. I teared up. It was glorious. It was everything for me. I enjoyed it very much, and yeah, that's all I could talk about today. I feel like, and I also started reading Bittersweetness by Stella Donato, which is poetry collection.
Yeah.
It's quite long, so I'm just reading it slowly, and also I'm
How
not
are you
reading it.
feeling about it?
So far, so good. It's very nice.
Yeah.
Very sad.
Yeah. I can't remember if I've talked about it on here, but Stella Donato is a friend of mine, so I read all their arcs, but before they publish their poetry, and I really like them. They always offer something a bit different than what I'm used to poetry wise, which is great.
I am a little shocked by the length of it because I'm so used to like something to read in one sitting, and Kindle is telling me that I have 2 hours of reading still ahead of me. So
Yeah,
that's something new.
they combined like their first two poetry collections into one and then republished them as just one work. So that's why it's a bit longer. But their second book, The Blushing Muse, is much shorter and quicker to read. And it's even that one is very different to the first one. Like, it's very romantic and explores a lot more of queer identity. So even if you don't fancy a longer poetry work, you might like the second book.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. But yeah, that's all I've been really reading.
Yeah.
It's just sad days. And also, I'm not gonna lie, I can admit that I might have just a few books here to read. However, the trailer for the prequel for Hunger Games came out,
It did.
and I'm back in my 2012 dystopian era.
Yay.
So the book, I didn't want to read the book. I honestly, I didn't really give a fuck about the story. And then the
Same.
GIF with Girly like bowing just like Katniss drop, and I was
Yeah,
like, okay,
man.
you got me. I'm
Yeah.
sold.
And
sold.
they really yassified Snow. They really like you know what? Sometimes villains gotta be villains.
I have to say, I'm really intrigued and interested in sort of the complicated feelings that I'm sure I will have towards Snow, and like just seeing. Apparently, it's not even Descent. Like, he's the bad guy from the beginning. Like,
Is he?
Apparently so. Like,
Oh, I kind of thought this was his villain origin. Villain?
we're doing really well with words today.
Villain origin story.
From what I read, it was like there was no happy ending, of course.
No.
And he already was like part of
Yeah,
the
because
bad shit.
he's a mentor, isn't he?
Yeah.
I'm actually really honestly like I didn't really even look into what it was about because I was just like, yeah, it's about snow.
Yeah.
I'm a Haymitch truther. I wanted my
Mm.
Haymitch story. But yeah, now that the trailer's been out, I'm converted.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's all I can think about, man. Also want to reread the original trilogy. I don't own it. I read it in Czech from a friend when it came out, which is fucking
Mm,
hell over a decade ago.
yeah.
Um,
I really love the books. Like I remember, aside from like Cassandra Clare, they really got me into dystopian. Same with Divergent. Like it was
mm,
just such a good era. I
yeah.
still remember to this day, I got like the second and third books for like 50p at a market. And I came home so happy. And like I remember that as one of the best days of my life because there was nothing better than going out
Mm,
and in summer and stuff and finding like really good buys because I grew up in like a family that wasn't really spending much spare money on books just because we didn't have much spare money to begin with. So like I never really asked for money for books, especially not brand new books.
mm,
So anytime I came home with books, it was just the best fucking day of my life.
I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just I'm just so excited. I'm so excited. So I will perhaps cancel my original purchase of just the book and order the box set.
Yeah, you absolutely should. You
I
can't just
should.
have one book. You need
I
all of the book.
agree. I agree. Oh, my
You
wallet
absolutely do.
doesn't. My current situation doesn't, but I do.
It's exciting. I'm excited to go back into it, I must say.
Yeah.
I don't have much time to reread stuff, but I feel like I might have to make an exception for this.
Either that or I can reread it for you because I feel like either way I'll just be freaking out to you
Yeah,
about everything. So you
yeah.
choose. It will
We'll
be like
see.
you reread it
See.
with me.
That's true. My first copy is actually heavily annotated now because I studied it
Mm.
in university,
Oh,
which means I should really annotate all of them.
I agree. I agree. You do.
Oh gosh. Yeah,
It's just I'm very excited. Yeah.
it is exciting, I must say.
So what have you been watching?
Oh, I'm glad you asked because Citadel came out with Richard Madden and Priyanka Chopra, who I'm pretending is not there. Yeah, because she said some weird shit, didn't she? Was it about like Israel that she said weird shit
She
about or
said a
something?
lot of weird shit, man. Like
Yeah.
a lot. She's a
Yeah.
strange person.
She's a strange, strange woman. But she's also a hot woman and she's a spy. And we love that.
Yeah.
And yeah, the first two episodes are out on Amazon Prime. Probably more when this goes out. But for those who don't know, Richard Madden is the love of my life. And he's very hot here, man. I love him in action. He was
Mm.
so good in The Bodyguard. I must say, I'm mourning the loss of his Scottish accent because he's American in this one. But basically, if you haven't watched it yet, it's about two spies who have like been deprogrammed so they lose their memories and they're in like they're like it's not just like the CIA, they're in like the most top secret kind of spy organization. So when trouble starts hitting again, they kind of get back into it and find each other again. I must say, I'm wary because he had a wife when he didn't have his memories. So now there's absolutely going to be cheating involved because he kind of shared something with Priyanka Chopra's character as well. So that makes me a bit sad.
Mm.
But God forbid men have hobbies.
I would like to agree with that one, but I'm afraid I cannot.
No, I don't like this. And his wife is really fucking cute as well. So this is
Mm.
gonna make me sad. But I do get to see him bloody and fighting, and there's something so personal about that. I'm a simple woman sometimes. I'm no better than a heterosexual when it comes to Richard Madden.
Yeah, it's true.
I know. I'm not proud of it. Stanley Tucci is there also, and it's produced by the Russo brothers.
Which is not really
Not great, but
right. Yeah.
at least you know the budget's there. It's very high
Mm.
budget. The filter is weird. We need to talk about this a minute. I'm gonna need TV shows to stop putting weird filters on things.
Yeah.
Like they had that kind of greeny filter, so Richard Madden's hair was dark and green like a mermaid's, like seaweed, and I was like, sometimes it's okay to just like let a bit of natural light show. Like it's just when it's heavily saturated and filtered, it makes me uncomfortable.
That was like in trying the second season was suddenly so orange and yellowy. It was weird, man.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, we need to have a conversation. Either there's too dark and you cannot see fuck all
Yeah.
when you're watching it, or they're very filtered and it's just
Yeah.
bizarre.
Mm.
I don't like this trend.
Yeah.
But yeah. What else have I been watching? Greys. Always Greys. I finished season 9. Pray for me is all I can say to that.
Mm.
I tried to watch a documentary about the Bermuda Triangle, but I fell asleep.
Because she was tired, not because it was
Yeah,
boring.
no, it was a good documentary. I only had like 15 minutes left of it. It was on Disney and they basically drained the ocean to see what lay like what was the not they didn't physically drain it, I mean using technology.
Yeah.
Think
We
about
managed
the
to
way you
connect
word
that one. Thank you, but for clarifying. Oof.
it. Anyway, I have a theory about the Bermuda Triangle because planes go missing as well. I think, and because what lay underneath, there's a volcano that was used to be surface level and once erupted, but now it's benign and it's under the sea. So my theory is that there's a lot of electromagnetic activity in that particular area that drags the planes down. And there's also like holes under the sea. Like
Under the
that,
sea.
I think they're called like blue holes or something. And they're just like black, but there's tunnels under the sea. I have to believe like aliens or somebody was living there. It's
That's
so
valid.
interesting. But
Yeah.
it's so scary to think that we don't know half of what's there.
More than half.
Yeah. Anyway, we watched a film as well. We watched Ghosted.
No, I don't want to talk about that. I absolutely don't want to talk about that. I want to forget it exists. It was the worst thing I've ever seen. The acting was horrible. I don't know what they were high on. They had zero chemistry. That's it to say about that. It was awful. Absolutely awful.
It was on the same part as Teen Wolf with the writing.
Yeah. That's it.
The Teen Wolf movie. Yeah. It's
No.
so weird because Chris Evans and Ana de Armas had so much chemistry when one of them was trying to kill the other in Knives Out, but like put them in a sweet rom-com, and they just gave us nothing.
No.
They gave us absolutely nothing.
He was all the red flags possibly
Yeah.
found, being able to find a man in one. That's all.
They went on one day and had sex once, and then he followed her to London and then was kidnapped by Russians with the
He
standard.
didn't follow her. He tracked her there because he had his inhaler in her bag. Apparently, he put like some GPS on the inhaler, which it's insane. I know
By the
Americans
way,
pay.
why did he need an inhaler? He never had an asthma attack once.
He did use it like twice, but I get my inhaler for free because healthcare. However, even in America, if it's expensive, I feel like it's not expensive enough for you to put a fucking GPS tracker on it.
It surely must
And
be
it-
cheaper than a plane ticket. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they were in tunnels and ended up in Pakistan, which was another strange. Like there was no sense in any of it. And I was I was excited at first because I found out through deduction, my powers of deduction, that Sebastian Stan was going to be in it.
the power of deduction is that I saw the spoiler. I told her that I've seen the spoilers, and as usual, I unlocked something inside of her, and she went on a journey of trying to figure it out. And I
Yeah,
don't
and
have a poker face,
she's
so
getting
she's
worse
yeah.
at hiding things from me now. It's great. Yeah, so Sebastian Stan was there. I wanted to get him out of there. Also, like that performance was like the best 5 minutes of the film because he was the only good actor there. He was the only one who gave his performance probably. So yeah, I wish he wouldn't have been there. I wish they would have got him out of there.
Yeah.
How about you? What have you been watching?
Oh no, I've been watching something. The first 3 episodes of Love and Death came out on HBO Max. That's my Lizzie Olsen, man. I got her back. Love and Death is it's a show based on a real events of the murder. Candy Montgomery killed Beth Gore with an axe in like 1972, 72 in Texas. So the first 3 episodes drop. Next episode will be the murder, and I believe that there are like 3 more of the trial and all that. It's really good. Like the acting of everyone involved is top fucking tier, and especially Lizzie. Like she's always look. I said it before. I'm gonna say it again. She's one of the best actors currently working and possibly ever. So I'm really excited to see what's next. Also, Lily Rabe is playing Beth Gore, the victim, and apparently she was pregnant during shooting this. And
Oh.
that's insane to me. Like you're being killed on camera with an axe while pregnant. So, and even like her character, well, she tried to like at the beginning of the show they tried to get pregnant with her husband, and they said on an interview that like she finally said that she managed to get pregnant while her 6 months of a stomach was lying in the lap of the other guy. So that was quite funny.
Yeah.
Also, Adi is playing in my lap and keeps tearing her toy into pieces, so I don't know how much of it is heard, but if you hear weird sounds, it is my dog. Thank you.
It always is.
I know.
Look, straight up, we can't afford a studio or anything like that. So
Yeah.
you can hear a lot of weird sounds if you have not listened to us before. If you have, you'll already know this.
Yeah, that's true.
We're doing our best out here.
Yeah. But that's all for me. So today we're talking about games. And I downloaded some new ones, so I'm ready here with my Nintendo man. I'm taking this seriously.
Okay.
So we've talked a little bit about the games that we play, which really is Fortnite, Disney, and that's it.
Speak for yourself, man.
But yeah, together, I mean, both of us.
Oh yeah, together, yeah.
Yeah. So what else are you playing?
Well, I switched between Skyrim, which was kind of my gateway into more serious, in air quotes, gaming. As in, like, I spent like before I was a very casual gamer, I played a lot of Sims and Animal Crossing, and Mario and shit. But then like Skyrim really changed me I didn't really think I was that interested in gaming until I got Skyrim. And then after that, because I realized I really enjoyed gaming, I'm switching between the Assassin's Creeds, the ones that are available on Nintendo Switch, and The Witcher 3. So yeah, quite a diverse range, I guess.
Yeah. And all of them like follow a storyline, and it's an open world thing.
Yes. Yeah. I would say Assassin's Creed is less open world. Like well, it depends which game actually. I'm not that far along in the first couple, but in the pirate one, Black Flag, you kind of can explore the sea, but there is like a limit to where you end up. Like it says you cannot go here because you're playing in like a historical figure's memories. So if you're not supposed to be somewhere for that specific memory, you get told to go back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. But the other ones that I play are very open world, yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
We also enjoyed a cozy name called Strange Horticulture.
We
It was
did.
really, really a good one, and I'm trying still to find something that would recreate the feels.
Yeah. I especially liked it because it was based around the Lake District in the UK.
Mhm.
So like I recognized some of the names there and it really
Yeah.
added like a bit of a witchy dimension to that I didn't know kind of really think existed. And I don't know how much of it was like inspired by the surroundings because it was very much like you were only really spent time in the house in the shop. Like you mixed the potions and you found the right herbs and
Yeah,
stuff.
you just tried to, it was really like sort of you had little puzzles and tried to figure out what
Yeah.
people needed, what sort of potions and what flowers you would use and what
Yeah.
flowers you even had, etc. And then try to
Yeah.
find more flowers on the map.
Yeah. It was just really, really calm and cute. And there was a little cat you could stroke.
Hmm. Yeah, it took just a couple of hours. I finished it
Mm,
in a day, not even an afternoon.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it was good fun.
Yeah.
And I think even after you finish it, you can still kind of go back and make a few more potions and stuff because I don't know about you, but I was always rushing to get to like the end. So if I didn't need something, I didn't really spend much time on it. But I'm sure there's more for me to do there that I just didn't look into.
Mm. It was mostly about figuring out the flowers, and just because of the way the story was set, I'm sure I ended with some flowers unnamed
Yeah,
because I
yeah,
used them and didn't need to. So I feel like I finished that too
yeah.
because I just wanted more of it after you
Mm,
sort of finish the witch ritual, or what was it?
yeah, something like
Yeah.
that, yeah. It was also handy, like if I end up writing herbs in the future, I feel like I know a little bit more
Yeah,
about them now, like
you can
because
open it and try to
yeah,
find
yeah.
more herbs. Yesterday there were sales in Nintendo store on some of the games in my wish list. And one of them was Astronomical Club for Queers, which was promised to be an adventure game. But I was done in like 5, 6 minutes. It was just
Mm,
a story. You just click through the people chatting. There was nothing queer about it. Just that in the description it said that this is a Louis is trans and this is bisexual and stuff like that. Well, like that was it. That was the all queer thing.
mm,
However, I did download a game called Down in Bermuda. I started it today. It's really cute. I feel like you would enjoy it.
mm,
You it is about a guy that sort of like gets his plane wrecked in Bermuda, and 30 years later you try to go through puzzles to like get orbs to travel to more islands, do more puzzles and sort of find your way home.
mm,
I'm on Island 3. It's just so much fun. It's really cute graphics. It's just you find you sort of meet all these creatures, and it's just really, really cute and soft and actually kind
mm.
of difficult. Like I got stuck for a bit on some of the things.
Speaking of puzzles, did you ever play Professor Layton when you
No.
were young? Oh, you would love it. I don't know. I think they're still available now.
Mhm.
Um, but like in the first one, he's an investigator, so he's investigating, I
Mm,
think, a murder. But the puzzles are so great because they're so varied and the setting is just really cute.
yeah.
I think you'd really like it.
Mm, interesting. Remind me
Yeah.
later. Thank you. I will take a
Okay.
look. I also bought a game called Pendula Swing. Again, I started today. I'm just like 10 minutes in. It's intriguing. First of all, I'm playing like some retired warrior. I have a wife also. I feel like she's dead now or missing. It's queer as fuck. My neighbor is a guy with a husband, so exciting.
Fuck yeah.
I know. It's sort of that old Game Boy type of graphics.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting. And like so far you have like some to-do lists and then a quest to figure out like right now someone stole my battle axe from my house. So that's
Mm.
one part of the thing that I have to figure out. But yeah, it's really interesting. I'm excited to play more of it. And I'm a little surprised that I don't mind the graphics because Fortnite really spoiled me in that department.
Yeah. I was gonna
Um,
say, like, my issue now is for like those smaller, cheaper, cozy games,
mm,
is that like I'm really used to really great graphics, especially with like Skyrim and The Witcher.
and
Like
Disney also really.
Disney is great as well. Yeah. I think because I started on such kind of high
Mm,
budget, high production games, it's hard to kind of
it
go to
is.
those little ones now.
It is. Um, yeah, I also played last week Sky Children of Light, which is a game for free in Nintendo Store. I'm not feeling that one much. Like it's good in the like it's very vibey and stuff, but I don't understand what the point of it is. Like
Mm,
it basically keeps telling you what to do and you do it, and I don't find
right.
that much interesting.
No.
And I also bought yesterday Old Man's Journey, which supposed to also be some sort of uh puzzle game adventure type of thing. So we'll see. We'll see. So far, I feel like I'm gonna just keep playing Pendula Swing because I love to be a queer old warrior woman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
yeah. But my question is, how did you play as a kid? Something.
Yes, I started on well, actually, I guess I started on like PlayStation 2, I want to say it was, like really a very, very old PlayStation.
Mm.
And I used to play it with my auntie. We had Driver, which the autism really came out even with that because the aim was to drive, and I used to get out of the car and walk around. I just really liked walking around.
Yeah, I've never known that about you. It's not like on Fortnite you get distracted by a pretty house or something shiny while I'm getting murdered.
Yeah, I guess that is a running theme for me. Like, I've always really loved having a good setting in the stuff. I like just exploring stuff. And in
Yeah.
Driver, it was set in like American cities that you could just really go wherever you wanted. You could go on like the top of a subway station and stuff. And I just really liked that about it.
Yeah.
And then I went to Tomb Raider, Lara Croft.
Mm.
I can't remember which one it was, but we just used to walk around a maze and a butler used to follow you and fart. And I was looking for a key. I never found the key. I just used to walk around. It was like set in a mansion. So
Mm.
that was that. Like I never got anywhere with that. I just used to like again, like walking around.
Yeah.
And then when I was older, I went to Game Boy. I got my
Mm.
first Game Boy, which was like one of those flippy screens, like you shut it and closed it. And I had stuff like a pet game and like The Simpsons Road. Did you ever play The Simpsons Road Rage?
No.
It was so good. In the Game Boy, it was a lot smaller, but I later got it on Xbox. I'm actually realizing I did actually have quite a gaming childhood, even
Yeah.
though I never thought I was much of a gamer.
Yeah.
Um, you like it was really great graphics actually. And you had to pick people up and get the best like outcome for the stars, but there was all sorts of quests and stuff for that, and you could change their outfits. And yeah, I went through a Simpsons phase when I was younger. What else? I also had a Fantastic Four game on Xbox.
Mm.
I never got very far with that. And then, of course, came like the Nintendo. And because I was at dance competitions a lot, I spent a lot of time between kind of my performances just playing Nintendo. So I was on Animal Crossing a lot. I was on Mario.
Wait. Animal Crossing already was a thing.
Fucking hell, it was. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah,
that
yeah.
one.
Yeah, yeah, it came out ages ago. That's why it's so
Oh.
expensive to buy, because it was so already loved. Like it was one of the first
Oh.
games on Nintendo, on like the Nintendo
Only a
DS.
year, not a
Yeah,
year.
yeah. That's interesting. And that's another reason why I'm not really enjoying it so much anymore, because
Mm.
there are new features to it now. on the Switch that I didn't get as a kid. But
Uh-huh.
overall, it's not
It's still the same.
drastically different. It's not worth the extra £20 you have to pay that from what it was then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I was on all like the basic shit, like Mario Kart. Professor Layton was another one that I really, really loved. That was a puzzly one. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else. I had like the Narnia game and stuff. It was just like I got games for Christmas and it was good fun. It was always
Yeah.
good fun. Did you ever get like the DSi? Because that one had like a camera in it. And you could make stupid filters on it.
I don't think no.
Mm.
Look, I grew up with a younger brother, so everything gamer like gaming, every game was for him only,
Mm.
right? So I loved games, man. I love them. I love playing like we even had like this website with like computer games. So I spent hours
Yeah.
and hours there. And during like
Loved
at
it.
school, we had also this one, another like website where you could play with someone else like next to you, sort of like online. We had like
Mm.
word soccer and stuff like that, and it was really really fun. So I loved games, man. And my brother had, I feel like he had a Game Boy, but then he also got the first it's like Nintendo Switch, but it was from PlayStation. It was PSP.
Mm. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
he had that one. Never allowed me to touch it. And then he had PlayStations forever. Like I feel like he started with PlayStation 3. And the only game that he allowed me to play with him was Lego Pirates of the Caribbean.
I had a Pirates of the Caribbean game as well. It wasn't
I
Lego though.
Yeah, we had the Lego one, and I loved it. It was one of my favorite games. I really adored it because I still in my when I think of the game in my brain, I can see sort of that water part from the island to the bridge to another island. So like you had to swim there, and I always loved to be the mermaid from the
Mm.
second one. And just it was so it just to me that's sort of like nostalgic just to think of it.
Yeah.
And I really want it now, but it wasn't remastered for Nintendo, and it wasn't even remastered for PlayStation 5. Definitely not. I'm not sure if
Mm.
it's on PlayStation 4. But it was one of my favorite ones.
Yeah.
Um and then I could only like watch him play Batman Arkham and all the Spider-Mans,
Mm.
even though I really wanted them. And then
That's sad.
the first I remember back then, sort of like there was this first Harry Potter game where you had like the controller like a wand. So that was the only game he allowed me to play to before he sold it, and I had nothing to play at that point.
Yeah.
Um, but I do remember when I sort of begged my mom to buy me Nintendo. And I remember the day I got it when I managed to guilt trip her into getting it to me.
As you fucking should if your brother had all that
Yeah,
stuff.
he already had the PSP at that point, and we were going to like a week, or it was during holiday, and we
Mm.
were in a shopping mall getting like food to go to like my mom's friend cottage, and she had also two sons. One of them was playing hockey with my brother. They also had like PlayStations and stuff. And I
Yeah.
really wanted Nintendo, so I got the turquoise one.
Oh yeah.
And it was on a and I got Twilight Game, man.
I didn't know there was a Twilight
That was
game.
a Twilight Game. It was my first game. I don't
Oh my
remember what it was
god.
about, but it had the songs, it had the music,
Oh my god.
it was so good. It was so good. And
I
then of
want
course
it.
the pets one, the dog with the
Yes,
dogs were oh,
Nintendogs.
that was
My one was called Nibblets.
oh
Yeah.
I just just thinking back at it, you know what?
I know.
Today I'm mourning the fact that I sold it.
I know. I sold a lot of my games as well because like it's just a way of life. But then when you get older, you're like, oh, that really gives me nostalgia.
Honestly, today I would still open it and just go back to my dogs
Yeah.
and just visit them. And it just
Yeah.
it Oh, it makes me really like emotional right now. I saw it when I was before I moved like 3, 4 years ago. So not
Mm.
that long ago, but I also had I don't know if you had the toys little pet shop
I never had them, but other people I
from
knew did.
Hasbro.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I was collecting them and there were games to it too, and I loved them. I loved it. It was man, that was really there was some good years there on
Yeah.
Nintendo.
Yeah. Honestly, like I never thought of myself as a gamer until recently, but now I'm looking back, I'm like, I was always playing games. I
Yeah,
used to go around to my friend's house and play games with them.
same. I used to
Yeah.
babysit these kids, but they had V, and we always played like bowling and tennis and stuff, and it was really
Oh, did you ever
nice.
have a Wii?
We didn't. I
Oh,
always like
yeah.
played it over at someone else.
I love doing that. I love doing the tennis.
Yeah.
And I used to love going around to my auntie's house because she had Guitar Heroes.
Oh.
I loved that. I was shit. I'm rubbish at guitar. I always have been, but it was still good fun.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also on Nintendo, there was, you know what, there were Sims Castaways. Do you know
I
them?
didn't have that. I had Sims 2 with the hotel. You had to run a
Oh,
hotel.
I feel like I borrowed the Castaways from a friend at
Mm,
elementary school back then. It was the best. It
yeah.
was the best, and I'm sort of sad that it's not today. I don't think
Mm,
so.
yeah.
It was
I think I still have some of mine, but like
oh
because I've got such like more that's the thing, like because Nintendo Switch brought out like this new one where you can actually play really high-end high
mm,
production games that
yeah,
kind of were limited to gamers who had a lot of time and money to put into it before now.
yeah.
Like I just I go back to those less and less.
Yeah, I just want to open it today just for the nostalgia. And like
Yeah.
one of the best thing like Nintendo used to have was that they had the sort of option for the cassette for Game Boy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they
Yeah,
did.
so I did take some of the games from my brother and like Sonic X is
Oh, Sonic.
yeah,
I
so I
had
played
Sonic.
that. And there was something else that I like took from him too. Yeah. Oh man, I miss those days.
It was
God,
great.
no,
It
it was
really
great.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also we had some computer games other than like Sims, of course. Which by the way, I mentioned like my mom's friend and her kids. So the older son was playing hockey with my brother and they were sort of buddy buddy. And the younger son, who was much like all younger than me, but we had like the similar tastes in books and games. So he had all the Sims, all of them. So I always borrowed one of the CDs and just like put it into my computer, download the packet, return it, and just had like the one of them to keep playing that. But oh my god, it was like
Oh,
Sims 2.
yeah.
Those were the days.
Yeah.
And
They
also
were.
McDonald's at some point in Happy Meal was when they were like the fairies. There were like 5 fairies, and each had a CD with a game. And my I used to play them on my dad's computer. So like he had one work laptop, and on it I played these games, and it always left the icon on the desktop. So
Mm.
at his work computer, he had a little fairy.
Oh, isn't it crazy though the lengths we had to go to kind of play games back then, and
Yeah.
now it's so readily available for kids. Like
Yeah.
my sister has a Nintendo, she plays Fortnite with us. And same for my cousin, she's always on Minecraft.
Mm. You
Like,
say you say like she has a Nintendo, like you weren't the one to give it to her.
yeah, I did buy it for her, yeah. I mean, like, obviously around that
Yeah.
age, I was also getting games, but like nowhere near in the same vein that they have them
Absolutely.
now.
Yeah.
Even like for video games for me, like the online ones, like Girls Go Games and Club Penguin and stuff.
Mm.
I used to have to plug in a dongle. We called it a dongle, which had the internet, and we only had a set amount of internet. And it was slow as fuck. I
Mm.
spent half of it waiting for it to buffer. That was how I played my games online.
Oh.
Yeah, I used to go on there text my friends on MSN.
Oh man, I was
Yeah.
on. I wasn't there. I was on. What was it? ICQ
Oh, I don't know. Not heard of
before
that one.
Skype. I remember the green flower man. Oh yeah,
Oh,
ICQ. Oh man, those were the days.
yeah.
Yeah. Did you have this? We had this game with horses called like Bella Rose or something like that. Bella something.
I'm not
And you
sure.
collected a car like you bought in a like like store with Trafica, like with cigarettes when they sell those. And they
Mm.
always sell like the little packets with cards. And we used to get like these Bella something. And you always got like some horse in it, which you put the code into the desktop
Mm.
application. And like you own the horse and like you are collecting all you try to of course collect the most
Yeah.
unique horses and we
Oh.
we used to exchange them with friends and oh my god I love that one and you like then had all the horses and you like took care of them and went to do races with them and like
Mm.
one of the special ones were like Pegasus um and like unicorns and shit like that.
Yeah. Oh, no, I never had that one.
Oh
I used to have remember Cooking Mama? Did you have that?
no.
Oh, that one was a good one. And like there was a series called Imagine, and it was different things for each game. And I had like a baby one, Nanny or something. And oh, I can't remember what the other one was.
Mm. You have Hugo.
No.
He was a little troll. There were like 3 versions of it also on like CDs or DVDs or whatever this one is, and I feel like I still have them somewhere here or at my granddad.
Yeah.
And you sort of like it was like Subway Surfer type of thing, but on computer, and you
Um.
had to save your kids and wife from this extremely hot enchantress that like stole them. She was fit, man. She was tall. She was dark, all dressed in red. Mm,
Amazing.
yeah.
Yeah. I also had like a snowboarding one for the PlayStation, and they always had great music. It's sad we can't get them back. And also, I used to love it at dance competitions. We used to just make rooms on PicChat. Do you know the chat thing on Nintendo?
Oh
Because you had
yeah.
to be close to people to do it. So like you just used to join rooms, and because like you're in a room full of like thousands upon thousands of people, and everyone was on the Nintendos while they waited to dance. It like you just ended up in random chat rooms. It was great. It really was.
We used to during or like at school at elementary school like we because it was like me and one of the friend I feel at that point we only had it and she was the one to like she had it before me and that's why I was so obsessed like I played the dogs at her like she had the golden retriever ones I got the Dalmatine one
Mhm.
and I took the Sims castaways from her and like we did we were in the little group in the chat thing during class and I remember like obsessively trying to like draw over the entire screen that was a
Yes.
goal.
Yeah. And then use the eraser to write something
Oh
in the
yeah.
bar.
Or like draw a little heart so that was it.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. It was a good time to be alive.
Yeah.
So, what do you look for now when you're searching for games? Like, I feel like the answer is cozy, but
uh, that's the thing like because I do I'm still a little wary when I'm supposed to put like this incredibly large amount of money into one game.
yeah.
So right now I'm just sort of enjoying the cozy ones also because I can still watch something with it or like listen
Yeah.
to an audiobook and I can multitask. I
Mm.
do, you know how desperately I want PlayStation 5 right now. I do
Me
want
too.
Call of
Me too.
Duty. I want Last of Us.
I
I
don't want
want
to talk about that.
Gods of War. I want so many games, especially Marvel ones that are only for like PlayStation 1,
Yeah,
PlayStation 5. Uh, I want so many games.
me
But
too.
I feel that if I were to put the big money into it, I want it physically, not from the store. Like
I was just thinking about that. Like now, like you can't sell your games now because like I have a couple of game cards for my Nintendo,
yeah.
but the majority I've downloaded from the store. You can't sell them, so it's like it's like
Yeah.
another way to kind of stop people from getting money from like secondhand.
Yeah, that's one of the things, like, because I was deciding what PlayStation I want, because one is digital now and one is for the CDs. And it is like much easier and sometimes cheaper to get them through the online store. However,
Yeah.
especially if it's a game that like is just one storyline that you like finish, then you can sell it. So like they recommend taking that as like a CD or like a card or stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, if I'm gonna buy a game that costs like 1,500 or like 2,000, I do want it to see it physically in front of me.
She's talking about Czech crowns, by the way, not like
Yeah,
dollars or pounds.
yeah, right. Precisely. It's still a lot of money.
Yeah.
Um, so I just want to have a little physical collection, just
Yeah, I
because
get
that's
it.
me as
Yeah.
a collector. I'm
Mm.
not even like counting in with like reselling it in the future, which is also always possible.
Yeah, but also you never know when your thingy will break down, and it's
Yeah.
just a sometimes it can be a real pain. Like
Yeah.
it is one of the issues I have. Yeah. But
Yeah.
that one, honestly, every day I wake up and I'm so fucking devastated that I don't have The Last of Us on game
Mm.
because Joel Miller is everything to me,
Yeah.
and I want it so fucking bad. Like, but I just don't have the space or the money to
Mm.
get it.
Yeah. I feel like before I get all these like games that are sort of every second counts. I feel like I should get a new TV because mine is turning itself off and on every now and then, just on its own.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, if you get a console,
Yeah.
you have to also get the TV that comes with it, unless like you're lucky enough to already have your
Yeah.
TV. Like for me, I still live at home, so there would be no point in me plugging it up to the TV because my nana wants to watch the news at 6 o'clock in the evening and shit like that. So like my downtown time is their downtime. They don't want to
Yeah.
watch me play video games in the living room.
Sadly.
So it's just a whole thing. It's
Yeah,
really
it's
quite
it's
sad.
yeah, it is. It's difficult. We deserve better, man. We do.
I deserve Joe Miller is all I want to say about that.
There, one of from the creators that it got the award. There's the Horizon one.
Mm.
If you, I don't know if you can see it. It's like
No.
sort of Viking type of thing.
Oh yeah, the
There
queer girly.
yes, now I'm
Yes.
sorry, like she's queer and she has a girlfriend, and I'm so
Oh my God, yeah. Another thing I really, really want is the Assassin's Creed Valhalla. That's like one of
excited.
the only ones that aren't available on Nintendo yet, and I'm so praying that it will be.
I remember like when it was coming out and I was getting the ads, and I remember sending them to you because the men were just so fucking hot, man. I just see
Mhm.
him getting out of the ship into the water. I was like, yeah.
Honestly, like the older I get, the more I'm very much into video game men.
Yeah,
I'm,
understandable.
I must say, I'm really enjoying them.
Yeah, I mean, I am my current work in progress is based on one of the video game.
It is. It is. The ageless champion, is it?
Yeah, for Fortnite.
Are there any mainstream games you haven't enjoyed playing?
I haven't. I don't feel so, because I don't feel I've tried so many mainstream of them. Like
Yeah.
very little, just because of like the time and money.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that's not gonna happen.
Or
And
any that you're not that you don't want that you're not particularly interested in getting.
it's a good question. I don't think so. I feel like I'm very easily like influenced by a
Yeah.
good game. And I'm actually the opposite. I want all of them right now. Um, I think Resident Evil is the one that I kind of want, but I don't.
Yeah.
Because there is a hot guy and the hot, tall, enormously tall woman.
Yeah.
But also I don't enjoy the graphics and I'm really terrified of everything. So
Yeah.
what about you?
Yeah. I think I always think I don't want something, but then I'll see someone playing it and I do want it. I see a lot of fan art for like Red Dead Redemption and stuff like that as well. Or yeah, stuff like that. So I
Yeah.
really want to try anything. That's the only thing. It costs so much money to try. I
Yeah.
will say that like a lot when I don't go on The Witcher, it's because there's a lot of talking scenes. Like you kind of are playing the game and then you're pulled out of it through the talking. So you have to kind of be in the mood for a narrative if you want to play that one. For me, I mean, you can skip over them, but then you're kind of a bit lost about what's going on. So
Yeah.
with Skyrim, you can just do your own thing. Like you can accept the quests you want to accept and just go at your own pace, which is why it's like my favorite of
Yeah.
all time.
Yeah.
And with Assassin's Creed, you're kind of always set on the path. As you go on, you kind of get more freedom to take up more contracts and not really focus on the main quest. But yeah, I don't know. Skyrim's just the least limited one that I've played.
Got it.
You can go anywhere and do anything whenever you feel like it.
Which is perfect for you who just wants to be around
Yeah,
looking for anything.
I love just ride. I don't even use the fast travel option
Of
because I
course.
really just enjoy riding my horse.
Yeah.
The only thing is then you kind of usually get attacked by what are they called?
Bandits or something.
Bandits, yeah, or I can't remember what they're called. Dawn guards, they're called.
Oh, okay.
And they have crossbows that hurt. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really quickly, what about phone games?
Fun.
Phone. Mobile.
Oh. Oh yeah, I'm obsessed with this health clinic one. I really like time management games, like where you just have to click things to make whoever go wherever and get things for customers and stuff like that. I've always been obsessed with those ones.
Yeah. I used to play on one of the gaming sites. You had like a burger restaurant and you like had to
Yeah.
take in orders and stuff.
Yes.
And I played it with my
Yeah.
dad actually. He also was obsessed with it. It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also like a lot of pizza ones out there, stuff like that.
Yeah. I love the farming ones, man.
Yeah.
Again, I used to play it with my dad and he even had on his phone too, like some farming one.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed that one too.
The first phone game I ever played was Snake on those really old Nokias.
Of course. My
That
mom
was
used to have the first like touch Nokia with the when you like sort of with the keyboard that
oh
you
yeah, you
pulled
flipped
out.
it up. Yeah.
Yeah, and it had one game. It was called like something bounce. It was a red ball and you like traveled with it and through like I don't know all kinds of things and I loved it. And I had the same phone without the keyboard and that version didn't have the game. And also there was I don't remember what specific I didn't remember the game, but I remember that when there was Samsung had the sort of the one that you pulled out the phone
Yeah.
with the keyboard. I had the only like version of the phone that did not have it. My brother had the game. My friend had the game at school. I didn't have the game, and I loved the game, man. I don't even
Oh,
remember what it was, but I remember being so bitter about it.
yeah. Phone games still take up a big chunk of my morning because
Yeah.
I don't know if it's my ADHD, but like I don't feel like I can start doing things until I've just done something for my brain. So like I start with a game
Yeah.
first thing in the morning. But yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was also gonna say we should probably like talk a little bit about the fact that there's such like a gap between male gamers and female gamers.
Without a look, that I feel deserves its own episode because of course
Yeah.
there is like, look, to this day, when I go to a comic book store or like a gamer book store, I feel so out of place and like someone's
Yeah.
gonna start screaming, pointing fingers at me to like get the fuck out because I'm not supposed to be there. It's
Yeah.
still very much rooted. And one of my friends now was writing a thesis about like the sexism in gaming community. Of course, there is still is
Yeah.
fucking hell. Again, like I grew up in that very because again I grew up with a younger brother, so that
You would
was
have seen it a lot more than I did because
yeah.
like for me, I was surrounded by women and
Mm,
we all played like the games. Like if when I got my Nintendo, my mum would sometimes play on my Nintendo. My
mm.
nana ended up getting a Nintendo. Like
Oh,
it was just a thing in our house,
yeah.
like to play games. But I get then now thinking back because I did play a lot of games but never called myself a gamer, that might have had something to do with it because I went to like college and then the boys would be like, "Oh, Final Fantasy's coming out today," and blah 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 blah. And I obviously never played games like that.
And also
So I didn't
because
consider myself in the same vein as
mm,
them.
and also I feel like there was still to this day I sort of feel that if I'm gonna talk about the games that I enjoy, especially the mainstream one, which like if I'm gonna mention that I like Fortnite, it feels from
Mhm.
my side very pick me type of thing. Like
Yeah,
she's
yeah,
not like the other girls type of thing.
yeah, yeah,
So it's very strange to like try to even unwork that inside of you. Like I start
yeah.
on my phone, I love Injustice 1 and now Injustice 2. I played it so much, not as much these days. It's with like DC it's a DC comic game. Yeah, so like it's very dark and sort of gritty game.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to much talk about it because of like and sort of also men have the thing they do when they try to like start testing you from the games and like the
hmm
lore and the
hmm
universes and it's just you don't really want to put yourself through that.
No.
So yeah, there's a big bridge, yeah.
And you even see like gamers who post Twitch streams and stuff on TikTok,
Mhm.
like they just get abused by
Yeah,
men, by
yeah,
younger boys, by men, like when they're playing.
yeah.
Because obviously a lot of them you can play with other people who you don't even know.
Yeah, there's a lot of like the close proximity chat, like
Yeah.
especially in like Call of Duty and
Mm.
Valorant and even like in Fortnite because you get teamed up and there is like the mic option.
Yeah.
And I recently just saw a sort of project some Australians did where they gave men voice changer to sound like a woman and send them into the proximity chat. And they were abused and they were so shocked about it. But like, you cannot tell me that you, as a male gamer, weren't even a witness to it or like this sort of
No.
locker room talk. Like, it's just, it's ridiculous, man. It's
Yeah.
horrible. It's horrible.
It is. And a big part of that actually came from the games themselves. Like when you think of Grand Theft Auto and like the way that they framed women in that as just like objects that they could like they were topless or they were like they had
Mm,
crop tops on, they were sexualized. And even with like Lara Croft, which was probably one of the first female centered games, like she was still very much sexualized in like the first version of her boobs were like triangular.
yeah.
Like they were so focused on the female body and like the sexualization of it and the
Mm,
objectification of it.
yeah.
And that was always the first thing in games. And it you still kind of see it even now. Like you still see the way that women's bodies are kind of not represented realistically in games.
When I remember, can't remember the full title, but when the Horizon game came out, and the main character, um, she's not like skinny, she's not petite, she's not very
Mm.
feminine. Men were losing it. They were
Yeah.
fucking obsessed with her, the fact that she had like a little cheeks and was
Yeah.
didn't have any makeup on because she's a fucking Viking. Like, of course, she wouldn't
Yeah.
get like an eye eyeshadows or shit.
And I'm sure it was the same for The Last of Us because obviously Ellie is very well, first of all, she's a lesbian.
Yeah.
And second of all, like she is, I guess, what people would describe as tomboy,
Yeah.
like edging on the side of androgynous, which is why it's so great that she's played by a non-binary actor now.
She's also isn't she in the first game like 12?
She's 14, I believe. Yeah.
I'm very upset that they can't be
Yeah.
attracted to her.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
fucking hell. Ugh.
Unfortunately, I'm not even that surprised. And then, of course, imagine their anger in the second one when she gets a girlfriend.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's strange.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Well, those
on that
were
note,
what?
oh, I was just gonna say I might actually spend the day playing Sims today. On that note,
I will definitely be playing the things that I downloaded on Nintendo. I'm enjoying that one a lot. The Pendula Swing one. Yeah. Well, those were the games we enjoyed in the past, are currently enjoying, and possibly somewhere in the future will enjoy. Fingers
hopefully.
crossed. Hopefully, yes. Do let us know if we did meet a lot of gamers when we were doing like the interviews and stuff.
We did, yeah.
So do let us know if and what games you're enjoying, perhaps.
And they do really, really play into writing as well. Like, for me, I always imagined like Rebecca Thorne's world as very Skyrim-y, and like you get a lot of inspiration from things like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's great. It's really good.
Yeah. And remember to
support women's rights,
but most importantly, support women's wrongs. Unless they tell you gaming is only for men.
Precisely.
And
my brain's thinking about stuff and I'm like, no, don't say it. Because I was just gonna say, like, the fact that men are allowed to like waste their time playing games all day and women are like expected to not do that.
well, it goes back to the patriarchy, really, because women are supposed to there was the study done that women are not even like sitting down to watch TV in peace, but constantly are doing something because they're cannot relax. Anyway, let's not get into that because again, that's a whole, we could do that for a whole thing. And until next time, we shall see you later, alligator.
In a while, crocodile.
Bye bye.
Bye bye bye. Thank you for listening to Swords and Sapphics. You can enjoy a new episode every Wednesday.
While waiting, you can visit our website, swordsandsuffix.com, and find lots of articles, interviews, and guest pieces.
Feel free to contact us with any requests, questions, or inquiries through a form on our website or directly to our email, swordsandsuffixpodcast@gmail.com.